What if I told you that every raindrop you've ever felt on your skin once floated in the sky as an invisible ghost? And that the rain falling today may have visited the oceans when dinosaurs walked the earth. Rain has lived many lives, and today we'll follow just one of them. Its birth, its journey, and its quiet return, like a character in a grand story written across our planet. Our story begins with something that doesn't look like rain at all: water vapor. Imagine boiling a pot of soup. When you lift the lid, you see tiny clouds rising up. They twist, blur, and disappear. But they don't vanish. They're just becoming invisible again. That invisible form is vapor. Now picture the whole planet doing something similar. Every day, the sun warms oceans, lakes, rivers, and even tiny puddles on sidewalks. Energy from sunlight shakes water molecules loose, giving them enough speed to leap into the air. It's like a crowd at a stadium suddenly rushing toward the exits, only upward. These escaping molecules are the first ingredients of rain. But the recipe needs more than water alone. As vapor rises higher, the air changes. Up there it is colder, thinner, and less crowded. To explain this, think of a tall birthday cake. At the bottom layers, everything is packed and heavy. But higher up, the layers get fluffier and lighter. Earth's atmosphere works the same way: dense below, airy above. Now comes the second ingredient: cooling. Cold air slows water molecules down. They stop zipping around and begin to cling to things. Tiny dust particles, pollen grains, sea salt crystals, even microscopic crumbs of dirt from deserts. That sounds strange, but dust is a gift to clouds. Without these seeds floating in the atmosphere, vapor would have nothing to grab onto, and raindrops would struggle to form. So water sticks, gathering into tiny liquid beads so small you could fit millions on a single pinhead. These beads cluster into clouds. If you've ever shaken a snow globe and watched the glitter swirl, you've seen a softer version of what's happening in the sky. Clouds are the nurseries of rain, humid, chilly rooms where droplets grow, bump, merge, and slowly become heavy. But how do they finally fall? The third ingredient arrives: gravity. As droplets collide, they form larger ones, sometimes through a process called coalescence, meaning joining together. Once a drop becomes heavy enough that upward air currents can no longer lift it, gravity wins. The drop breaks free. This is the moment of birth. The raindrop begins its descent. A raindrop's journey is not peaceful. It's a chaotic plunge through a world full of invisible battles. The drop tumbles downward at high speed, but the air pushes back. Wind stretches it from a sphere into a shape more like a hamburger bun. In movies, we draw raindrops like long teardrops, but in real life, they're more like jelly domes squashed at the bottom. Some raindrops survive all the way down. Others shatter into smaller drops when hit by gusts of wind, like beads scattering from a broken necklace. As they fall, raindrops meet many fates. Media group: varied shots of raindrops falling, evaporating, and splitting. Montage of raindrop fates stock equally. Evaporation: in hot, dry regions, whole storms can lose every drop before touching the ground. People call this virga, rain that dies before it lands. Drizzle: when drops are tiny, they drift like mist, dampening hair and eyelashes but barely stirring puddles. Downpours: when drops grow large, they hammer the earth, filling gutters, roaring off rooftops, and bouncing off streets. Once rain reaches the ground, its story splits like a forked river. Some of it soaks into soil, sinking through spaces between grains of sand and clay. This water feeds roots, seeds, worms, and fungi. Plants drink it using microscopic straws inside their stems, lifting water upward to make leaves and fruits. Some rain becomes runoff, racing downhill to join streams, creeks, and rivers. These small threads of water carve valleys, transport minerals, and deliver food for fish. Some slips into dark underground caves of rock, becoming groundwater, a secret reservoir stored beneath our feet, slowly trickling through stone filters for years, decades, and sometimes centuries. Rainwater feeds beetles hunting in fallen leaves. It fills bird baths on balconies. It pools in hoof prints for thirsty insects. It gathers in tin cans forgotten in gardens. It cools streets after summer heat, causing steam to rise like quiet ghosts. Rain reshapes the land. It breaks down mountains, dissolves minerals, and carries them toward the sea. It leaves behind fertile soil that makes farms possible. Without rain, forests would collapse into dust, and rivers would become scars of dry stone. Rain is also a messenger of energy. As storms gather, lightning cracks through the sky, heating air so fast it expands violently, producing thunder, the deep drumbeat of Earth's lungs. And yet, rain is not just water. Every drop carries dissolved gases from the atmosphere, tiny bits of pollen, microorganisms, and the faint memory of oceans. When rain falls into lakes and seas, it becomes part of the endless mixing pot of the planet. Rain does not stay rain forever. Its ending is quiet but important. Once on the ground, sunlight returns to finish the cycle. Heat reaches the surface, and water begins to slip back into invisibility. Molecules loosen, wiggle free, and lift off again as vapor, just as they did at the very beginning. If the water soaked into soil, it may travel through trees first. Leaves have tiny pores that release vapor into the air, a process called transpiration. Rain becomes part of a leaf, then part of the breeze without anyone noticing. If the water flowed into rivers and reached the ocean, it returns to the great evaporating engine of the planet. The ocean is like the beating heart of rain, pumping vapor skyward day after day. Even glaciers store rain in frozen form, locking droplets inside ice for thousands of years before releasing them as meltwater. So does the story end there? Not at all. Because as vapors rise, they once again cool, cling, gather, and fall. The life of rain is a loop, a cycle with no true ending, only transformations. The raindrop falling on your hand today may have once drifted over the Pacific Ocean, slept inside a snowflake atop a mountain, trickled through bamboo roots in Asia, or swirled inside a storm during ancient times. Water remembers. Its life spans continents and centuries. And every storm we witness is just one chapter in a story the Earth has been writing for billions of years. The quiet, powerful, beautiful life of rain.